Welcome to Omsk region. Today, it is one of the most promising and developing regions of Western Siberia. Its territory, which is more than 141,000 square kilometers, spread for 600 kilometers from the north to the south, and for 300 from the west to the east, lies in three natural complexes. Steppe, replaced by forest steppe, captures a part of the northern taiga forests. The territory of Omsk region oversizes some of the European states. The region is composed of 32 districts. The populations of the region lives in 6 cities, 21 workers' settlements, 1,477 villages. The total number of residents exceed 1,900,000 people, representatives of 120 nationalities and 20 ethnic groups. Omsk is one of the largest cities in the country. The city is divided into 5 districts. In respect of the number of inhabitants, it is the 7th out of 15 cities of Russia and the second most populous among the regions of the Siberian Federal Districts. The city population is 1,157,000 people. Omsk region borders on Tyumen, Novosibirsk and Tomsk regions, as well as the state of Kazakhstan. The basis of transport system of the region is Trans-Siberian Railway. The Great Siberian Route has 4 directions: North Trans-Siberian Railway, new, south and historical ones. Today, Omsk still remains the important part of the largest railroad in the world, connecting the east and west of the Eurasian continent. The system of transport communications of this region includes railway traffic, motorways, aircraft and river vessels that meet the needs of transportation of cargo and passengers. The Irtysh River remains an important transport route, which passes through the territory of 3 states. The construction of Krasnogorsk water lifting hydraulic system, starting in 2011, will preserve the comfortable conditions for navigation, as well as improve the recreative potential of Omsk region and the fish productivity of the river. Currently, the project of the international airport Omsk-Fedorivka construction is being implemented. It is commissioned and will expand the geography of flights, including transit traffic from European part of Russia to the Central Asian, CIC countries, China, Southeast Asia, as well as enable maintenance of all aircraft types. The history of the Irtysh region as a part of Russia dates back to the 16th century when Cossack leader Yermak, after the campaigns against the Siberian Khanate and the victory over Khan Kuchum, pushed the state boundaries to these limits. During the next centuries, the expansion of the borders to the east and the development of the territory continued. In the times of the reforms of the Peter the Great, which demanded enormous costs, gold was being sought here. Expedition headed by Ivan Buchholz didn't find rich deposits, but moved to the south and in founding the Omsk fortress. Late, the city became the center of West Siberian Governorate General and perhaps the largest administrative unit. Omsk has always been a city of strategic importance for the country. From here, the municipal formations were governed, and until the revolution, the city has been considered as the administrative center of Siberia. During the Civil War, the city remained its status. Moreover, Admiral Kolchak organized his headquarters here and announced Omsk to be the 3rd capital of Russia. Indeed, the city has a real specific location. It opens up a gateway to Asia, and it is practically southeastern outpost. When in 1891, Emperor Alexander III, by special rescript, instructed the future Tsar, Nicholas II, to establish Siberian Railway, Omsk became the key part of Trans-Siberian Railway. The important transportation hub by passing which was impossible to get from the west to the east of Russia. In the first third of 20th century, Omsk region, even after the administrative division, had the impressive territory stretched down to the Kara Sea. In the years of the Great Patriotic War, the region became one of the industrial centers where victory was forged. Evacuated factories laid the foundation of the region's industry. The exploitation of oil deposits caused the creation of petrochemical complex. The reclamation of virgin lands gave an impulse to development of agriculture in the region. Historical and medical location, the crossroads of major transport routes from Europe to Asia define the importance of Omsk region in international trade and political relations of Russia. The region's significance increased after establishment of the customs union between Russia, Kazakhstan and Belarus. The region is in the leading strategic part in transport and logistics chain connecting Western Europe with the countries of Pacific region. Omsk region is an active participant on the international market. Regional companies export their products to 85 countries of the world. The prominent trade partners are Kazakhstan, Belarus, Finland, China, Poland, Ukraine, Germany, Canada, Slovakia, Italy, and USA. The annual foreign trade turnover is more than $1.5 billion. Export reaches about two-thirds of this amount. Another important direction of foreign economic activity is the development of interregional relations. Economic subjects of 8 federal districts of the Russian Federation are the main partners of Omsk region. Interregional commodity turnover exceeds 300 billion rubles and grew by an average of 9 to 10% per year. The main objects of the region's export are products of chemical industry, equipment and transport means, food products and agricultural raw materials. For the purpose of effective development of foreign economic activity and establishment of direct economics relations, the government of Omsk region takes an active part in the economic and trade missions, exhibition and fair activities, initiates various forums. Agency on advertising and exhibition activities, which possesses the necessary infrastructure, the only in Omsk Regional Expo Center carries out such activities, allowing to host different businesses events, seminars, roundtable discussions, conferences, exhibitions, forums and congresses. Omsk region possesses a wide range of technological, intellectual and natural resources, which, coupled with other factors, form a positive investment climate. The main points of the economy growth of the regions are well-developed sector of oil refining as a source of raw materials for petrochemistry, deep processing of agricultural products, as well as a cluster of high-tech components and systems. Analysis of the current business situation allows to predict a significant increase of the investment volume in the coming years. A key role in creating conditions favorable for investment should be played by the implementation of the strategy of development of Omsk region and ready strategic plan of social and economic development of the region, Siberian leader of growth, for the period till 2025. The systematic, qualitative phased transition from the formation of clusters and sectors to the leading position of the region as a whole is assumed. In order to implement the strategy, the government of Omsk region actively creates conditions for improvement of investment climate, thus laying a new system of investment relationships. For this purpose, a number of basic laws were elaborated and passed, which define the forms of state support, provide lowering of tax rates and additional incentives for investors, and also spell out creation of special investment funds. Support for investment projects, easing the tax burden, and subsidy assistance make the region is economically profitable for capital investments. Obvious advantages for investment are stable economic development of Omsk region and increasing paying capacity of its population. Potential investors are able to obtain current information about the projects on the specially created electronic portal, where the investment map of Omsk region is represented. Availability of sites ready for implementation of investment projects allows to regard the implementation of the projects, to locate production of woodworking, construction of transport logistics center and agri-food complexes, as well as project on development of silica sand deposits. Omsk region has a credit rating A+, as a region with stable prospects. Large businesses with foreign ownership have been successfully working in the region: Rosar, Omsk Bacon, Matador, Sibur. Investment projects of large transnational companies like IKEA, Metro, Obi have been implemented in the regional center. The volume of foreign investments in 2012 made $669.7 million. Focus on the improvement of investment climate in the region allows us to hope for growth of foreign capital flow in the different branches of industry. Advantageous geographical position, developed transport system, availability of modern manufacturing with high-end technologies, modern business culture and considerable human capacity, all these make Omsk region a place with favorable conditions for managing business. One of the leading economic sectors of the region is industry. It generates about 40% of the gross regional product and tax revenues to the treasury. Industry concentrates over a third of the regional key assets, employs over 20% of working population. Annually, about half of all investments in the region are transferred to its advancement. The basis of the industrial complex of the region are oil refining, chemistry and petrochemistry, food production, engineering with a large manufacturing complex of the defense industry. Omsk defense companies manufacture products for all branches of the armed forces: rocket and space, aviation, armored vehicles, radio electronic components and radio communication devices. Civilian industry products are in great demand: equipment for the transport and fuel and energy complex, metallurgical products, measuring and medical equipment. Among the giants of Omsk engineering is the ancient Building Production Association named after Baranov, one of the oldest enterprises, the only from Urals manufacturer of aircraft engines. Production Association Polyot, having a great experience of rocket and space vehicles production. Since 2011, PA Polyot has been a sole manufacturer and developer of a new generation launch vehicle Angara. Omsk Scientific and Research Institute of Professional Equipment performs the full cycle of works, from design to production of radio communication complexes, with its own database of micro and functional electronics. Equipment of Omsk Central Design Bureau of Automatics is installed in all types of Russian Air Force aircraft. Production of Scientific Production Association MIR. Metering systems and devices and energy resources control is in demand in Russia and abroad. The basis of the petrochemical complex of the region is Omsk Oil Refinery, one of the largest and advanced in Russia. It dominates among Russian oil refineries in terms of refining depth, set or technological procedures. The largest producer of carbon black in Russia and the CIS, one of the major Russian exporters, Omsk Techuglerod. The enterprise is on the top of 10 largest world manufacturers of carbon black. The production of food industry enterprises such as Inmarco, Omsk Bacon, Rosar, Brewing Plant Sibir, Dairy Plant Manrosam, Holding Sibirsky Delicatessen, Plant for bottling of mineral water Omsky, Omsk Plant of processed cheese, confectionery factory Sladonej and Sladonica is widely known far beyond the region. In recent years, a number of industries with new product lines and the unique technologies have been put into operation. Plant for production of medical surgical hydroscopic cotton wool of flax fiber. Enterprise specializing on deep processing of birch with complete production cycle, from logging up to finished products under the trademark Russian Birch, our company. Plant for production of glass containers, which today is the leader in Russia in terms of the glass transparency. Polypropylene plant with a wide range of products, about 80 grades of polypropylene. A project on building a high silica sand mining and processing enterprise is being implemented. Its capacity is up to 500,000 tons per year. Raw materials will be excavated from a promising unique field, Kormilovka section, one of the largest in Russia with total area of 35 square kilometers, capacity of 700 million cubic meters of sand. Geographical location and climate features create favorable conditions for agriculture in almost all areas of Omsk region. Agricultural complex of the region is represented by several sectors: crop production, milk and meat cattle breeding, poultry farming, pig breeding. The volume of agricultural production fully meets the needs of the inhabitants of the region. Per capita exceeds the average point of the Siberian district by half. Omsk region is among the 10 largest producers of Russia, and in respect of meat and meal production, it is one of the leaders in Siberia. In money terms, farms of all types in the region annually produce goods worth about 60 billion rubles. In the region there are a variety of target programs and projects aimed at developing the agricultural complex, which provide various kinds of support to the subsectors of crop production, cattle breeding, processing, including the sale of products, sustainable rural development and support of small and medium business in rural areas. To support traditional industries essential for social and economic development of the agricultural complex of Omsk region, programs of development of the flax industry, vegetable growing under glass, reclamation of agricultural lands have been elaborated. The project of great importance for agriculture, having long-standing history in Siberian Agronomic Exhibition Fair Agro-Omsk. the latest agricultural engineering, innovative solutions for cattle breeding, crop production, and proceeding are demonstrated at the forum. It is the place where producers and buyers are engaged in a dialogue on a direct basis. Agriculture has always been and remains one of the priority activities for Omsk region. This is evidenced by its rich history with high-yield units in the Soviet time, scientific base organized as research institutes and experimental facilities, and one of the largest agricultural universities beyond the Urals. Omsk region is one of the most actively under construction one in Western Siberia. The industrial potential contributes to that. There are production enterprises, annual combined capacity of which allows to produce as much building materials, relevant products and structures as required for the commissioning of more than 1 million square meters of housing, as well as production and social sphere facilities. Especially for the forest industry and development, an industrial cluster of construction materials production of bottom ash wastes have been created. The aim of a long-term target program of Omsk region, development of construction materials industry and industrial housing building on the territory of Omsk region, is to encourage introduction of new plants and production lines. It is designed until 2020, which demonstrates the presence of the necessary resources and emphasizes the seriousness of plans of the region's governing bodies with the relation to support of construction in the region. Private housing occupies almost half of the territory of Omsk, and according to the program of recovery, some quarters will give way to modern dwelling or business centers. Within the scope of preparation for the 300th anniversary of Omsk city, the federal budget will allocate funds for the restoration of the historic city center. In this regard, a number of urgent investment projects have appeared, aimed not only at the residential homes, but also at repair and construction of roads, gasification, transport industry. The regional system of higher vocational education consists of 10 state universities, 10 branches of state educational institutional education. Besides, more than 10 non-governmental educational institutions are operating successfully, implementing mainly educational programs of humanitarian and economic orientation. Intended certified specialists are taught by more than 13,000 lecturers of various categories. In addition to qualified personnel preparation, the scientific works are carried out, including humanitarian, economic, medical, and technical areas. Omsk Scientific Center of the Russian Academy of Sciences operates actively in the region. On its base, the Computer Center has been created, which resources are used by the leading university. The joint project of several educational institutions, the Corporate Center of Nanotechnologies and Nanoscale Materials, has been launched. Here, various types of work are coordinated, from research to developments of high-tech production sectors of Omsk region. Training and skills development in the field of nanotechnology is provided. Recently in Omsk region, the Association of Non-Profit Organizations Omsk Regional Electronic University was established, which will help form a common educational space for the development of available continuous, multi-level and additional education. International activities becoming increasingly important in the development of Omsk University. Thus, within the framework of the second forum of boundary regions, universities of Russia and Kazakhstan, a memorandum on cooperation in the field of education, science and culture was signed. Besides, an active work in the interaction in this field with other countries is being carried out. The public health system in Omsk region shall provide medical service for more than 2 million people. The health of all the inhabitants of the region is monitored by more than 8,000 doctors and more than 20,000 of nurses, including 256 candidates and 16 doctors of medical sciences. Qualified specialists have at their disposal a developed medical infrastructure, institutions equipped with necessary and often unique medical equipment. Specialists constantly improve their practical and theoretical skills. For the purpose of exchange of experience, the specialists of Omsk Public Health Service regularly participate in conferences and congresses, both in Russia and the CIS countries. Omsk polyclinics introduce new methods of diagnostics and treatment. Great attention is paid to prevention and treatment of oncological diseases. The oncological service of the region has unique equipment and experienced specialists capable to provide model level of all kinds of medical aid to oncological patients. Close contacts have been established with French specialists from the university named after Louis Pasteur in Strasbourg. Doctors and students of Omsk State Medical Academy have the opportunity of professional exchange of experience with foreign colleagues. Maternal newborn and child health program is medical and social area of focus in Omsk region. There are dozens of specialized centers for rendering assistance to children. The Center of Pathology of the Reproductive Organs and Pelvic Surgery in Children is unique in Russia. The most important achievement of Omsk medicine is the Organ Transplantation Center, in which hundreds of transport operations have been conducted. Omsk medicine is proud of Omsk citizens. And the great merit belongs to the male source of manpower, Omsk Medical Academy, which for over 75 years has been training qualified physicians. Omsk region is a rare example of a region which not only has retained its sports heritage, but enriching it every year. Dozens of Olympic medalists, winners of various world and Russian competitions, have been brought up in Omsk. Alexei Tishenko, Evgenia Kanaeva, Alexander Pushnitsa, Irina Chachina, Roman Sludnov are well known not only in Russia but also abroad. Today, at the disposal of future champions, there is a developed infrastructure and a unique system of training, built on the basis of victorious traditions. Popular types of winter summer sports are developing in the region. Schools of Olympic reserves are operating. Unique sport facilities are being built. A cycle track, hockey academy, field and track stadiums, and all that is the result of successful implementation of federal and regional target programs. Apart from the sport of records, a lot of efforts are devoted to the development and popularization of mass physical culture. Regional sports events have a long history. Such events as the Siberian International Marathon attract the attention of athletes from all over the world, and federal events, Cross of Nations and Ski Track of Russia engage thousands of adherents of a healthy lifestyle. In the regional and district centers, children's sports schools are opened, shared facilities are constructed. In Innokenty Anensky, Mikhail Vrubel, Leonid Martynov, Vissarion Shebalin, Alexei Liberov, Fyodor Dostoevsky, Yelena Roseva, Mikhail Ulyanov, Lyubov Polishchuk, Sergei Chonishvili. This is not a complete list of people whose lives are not just connected with the Omsk region by a vital event, but also had a beneficial influence on the culture in the region. And today, Omsk cultural life surprises us with a variety of shapes, colors, and tonalities. Omsk has strong theatrical tradition. The first theater appeared in the late 70s of the 19th century, and now in the city there are about 10 drama theaters, and another one, Northern Drama Theater, is situated in the district center. In recent years, the regional center held dozens of different theatrical festivals and competitions of interregional and international significance. Musicians of local bands are invited from all over the world. Competitions of young talents and major projects of the world's celebrities are conducted constantly and are very popular. Omsk connoisseurs have the chance to get acquainted with the oeuvre in modern halls. The image of the cultural capital is completed with dozens of museums, with unique exhibits, libraries, including one of the oldest and the largest in Siberia, large-scale film forums and festivals of independent films, exhibitions of famous artists, and much more. The history of Omsk region is an administrative entity extends back over more than 190 years. During this time, the names and territories were changed, but one thing remained unchangeable: key geopolitical importance of this region for the state. Having once become the southeastern border of the Russian Empire and got an official status of Gate to Asia, today it again turns out to be in the orbit of ethnic interests of Russia. The unique location almost in the center of the Eurasian continent, territorial neighborhood with Asian countries make Omsk region the most important point of the largest international transport, Trans-Siberian corridor, the hub with the appropriate infrastructure and development potential. This is the region of great opportunities, the place where great scientists and experienced managers found success, creative people and sports heroes were born. Whoever the residents of the areas are, they believe in a positive future of their small motherland. Today, Omsk region is a bastion of modern thought, and an innovative approach to business processes management is open for fruitful and mutually beneficial cooperation.